welcome to Oleo Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, George Singogo. And today I'm here with a very special guest who goes by the name of, unfortunately, I'm going to allow him to talk for himself. So, welcome to the show and kindly tell us what's your name.
Thank you for having me. My name is Chewe Swali, a resident of Kamambwa district.
I just wanted to discuss with you about independence. What you really understand about independence. So when we say independence, to you personally, what do you think is independence?
That's a very good question, but I was thinking maybe you wanted to find out the meaning of the word independence.
Exactly.
Or the meaning of the word independence. The word independence. When you say one is independent, that means that person is set free from various bondages that was chained around his body. When you are free, you become independent.
Well, thank you so much for that answer. My next question will be, what are some of the key events that led up to Zambia's independence in 1964?
This is beautiful. A long time ago, before 1964, this country was called Northern Rhodesia.
Exactly.
It was under the colonization of a country in Europe, which is known as Britain. We were in bondage. We were colonized. A lot of things were happening. We were not free. We were not proud at all. As people of, by then, Northern Rhodesia, we were always in jail. So our brothers, our fathers, our grandfathers, our grandmothers, and the then youths felt the pinch of being a colonized nation. They stood their grounds in fighting for independence. And on the 24th October, Northern Rhodesia attained its independence from Britain. And the name was changed from Northern Rhodesia to Zambia. And the first president of the Republic of Zambia was Dr. Kenneth Kaunda.
Thank you so much for the answer. I've really learned something that I didn't even know I've learned from you. Otherwise, thank you for the answer. Now, my next question would be, who were some of the main figures in the struggle for independence?
That's beautiful. The main figures who were there as freedom fighters were no other than Harry, a man who came from the Southern Province. He had this party which was called ANC, which is African National Congress. We were all there. And even Kenneth Kaunda was also there. They were working together. But because of the process, which became a bit so procrastinating, so Kenneth Kaunda and his men and women had to break away from ANC, and they formed a party which was called ZANC. ZANC.
Which means?
It was called ZANC, Zambia African National Congress. Sooner than later, they changed that to UNIP. And that is the party which led Northern Rhodesia to attain its independence and change the name, as I said, from Northern Rhodesia to Zambia. There were key figures like Kenneth Kaunda himself, who was popularly known as KK, Super KK. Super KK. Then we had men, as I mentioned, as I say, alluded earlier on, Harry Kumbula Mwanga, Simon Mwansa Kapwepwe, Batimba, Mainza Chona, Grace Zulu, Elias Mudenda, Mama Chikamoneka, to mention but a few.
So back when you were in school, were you taking history because you seem to know a lot about the history of Zambia?
It's part of my pleasure. Just know that I am a Zambian.
Exactly.
And I believe and trust in experience. Because who feels it knows it.
Exactly. Well, thank you for giving me. Now my next question would be, how was life in Zambia, then Northern Rhodesia before independence?
It was a very sad story.
Very sad.
A very sad one. People were not free. People were not free. People were working as beasts of burden. No freedom of speech. No freedom of association. A lot of nasty instances used to happen. There were a lot of taxes. There were a lot of things which were taking place for you to be free to move. There used to be some documents which were called Ichitupa. Ichitupa was a document which had your name, your village, the district where you are, the chiefdom and what have you. Because of Ichitupa, some people were even hiding when it comes to taxation. Because every house was being taxed. Even if you are not working or you're working. I remember very well what my mother told me one day. That a white man came with Wakapaso, the present messengers. They were the people who were always taking the security of the district commissioner. And most of the district commissioners were white, straight from Britain. So as we were calling names, because any village where they are found, they used to gather men and women, they gathered together. Started calling names. So our fathers used even to hide their fair friends who had no money to pay for their taxes. They could name. They were keeping the top secrets just where you are. They can call. What's your name? They ask you a question. So one man, according to the story that was narrated me by my mother, one man said, my name is Kalembe. Kalembe who? Kafiuke. A white man, the district commissioner provided Kalembe Kafiuke. Which village? Mufwayeni. Chief Tamwa Musange. Good. Do you understand what it means? Right, Kalembe Kafiuke. Right, and I will disappear. Your village? Mufwayeni. That means look for him. Chief Tamwa Musange. So that right. So when they come next time, where is Kalembe Kafiuke? That man, he will never find him. It was funny. They were making them funny because they were so harsh on our forefathers. Bascos used to have impalata. For you to have a bicycle, you have to buy impalata, a form of a tax. A dog impalata. Our people were suffering. There was also separate development. Even entering shops, there were shops for whites and shops for blacks. And there was one time I can tell you, KK announced the whites. KK went straight into the shop, wanted to buy a bicycle. Said, no, I want to buy a bicycle. I want this basket to be taken through the window. Because Africans, Zambians by that time, Rhodesians, were getting everything through the window. So the owner of the shop was very annoyed. Are you mad? How can you buy a basket and then we give it through the window? That's what I'm supposed to do, because I receive everything through the window. I want my basket to come out through the window. That was part of the struggle. People used to be beaten. When you go and buy meat, you are beaten. When you want to buy eggs, you are beaten. And that's why now KK Super Ken even stopped eating meat, eggs and whatever. And he died as a vegetarian. And that is Super Ken. There were no schools. A few schools which were there were for the rich people, the whites. Rhodesian by that time had difficulty in knowledge through formal education.
Thank you so much. I'm sure even the viewers out there are learning one or two things. Those who never got a chance to learn history, this is the time for you to get something as we interact with Mr. I've forgotten the name.
I'm Chewe Swali.
Mr. Chewe
Swali.
Swali. Okay. Sorry. So now my next question is due to the struggle for freedom.
That's right. Towards 1962, 63, Northern Rhodesians teamed up in support of the UNIP party, United National Independence Party. Starting from the youth by that time up to the aged, they teamed up. They started chanting slogans which were there heading for independence. Cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha. Means people came together. They started destroying bridges. They started burning some of the white men's shops. They started destroying roads as part of the demands to attain independence. They were chanting slogan, freedom now, freedom now. They would be at the rally, and our leaders KK could stand up, ask everyone to stand. They started, Chisokone, 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 Ndum, Tatoreka. But now Zambia is shaking. Men and women and youths were all geared for independence. It was a period of death, imprisonment, and whatever. That was toward 1964.
Thank you so much for the answer. Now my next question is, how did people celebrate the first Independence Day?
It was a jubilation. It was a jubilation, my young man. 1964. That is, let me say, 23rd October 1964, when our first flag of Zambia was seen. I'm trying to put my face on the face of my grandfathers and my father, because my father was a culprit. He was in prison, my father. Dennis Wima was imprisoned because of independence. The first time to test the freedom, how it is, when the flag was demonstrated. The British flag was being lowered, and our Zambian flag was, and the first coined national anthem was sung proud and free.
So
And really we are proud and free.
if I were to ask, who was the person that was responsible for the national anthem?
I'm sorry, I don't know. Just know that Zambians by that time were the men who were educated, who were outside the country, who were studying some like Light of Denders, the Monsakapekwes, and others were learned. There are people together with the youths who sat together and came up with the national anthem. They are the people who came together and designed the Zambian flag, which has got the best meaning. When you look at the Zambian flag, you can see that yes, we are free. We are proud and free.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful answers that you're giving. And I'm sure, guys, you are learning one or two. The new government after independence.
Education.
Education.
Free education, just like HH is doing right now. Free education. And by that time, 1964, when I started my grade 1, those years, some 10 years after 1964, I enjoyed free education. My mother, my daddy, my mom did not buy any pencil for me. Rubber, nothing. Books, very free. Free. We were having the best free education, as now, sometimes I enjoying right now. Second step, Kenneth Kaunda, I attribute the first investor of Zambia that you are seeing now. That was 1967, when the investor of Zambia was built. And our men and women, our youths, tested the excellence in education at a higher level. And that is KK.
Well, thank you so much. We are learning. Now, how did independence change the Zambian politically, socially, and economically?
Beautiful. At first, we were not having many parties. As it happened, because when we had the first elections, there were about 3 parties. That is ANC, UNIP, and the party which belongs to the British people. So they came together. No one reached the threshold. So it was what we call collision. ANC and UNIP, they came together and they formed the government. When they formed the government, we were just ruling the country like that, ruling the country like that, ruling the country like that. There were no many opposition parties until in the end, a British party just died a natural death. And we only remained with the UNIP under the presidency of Kenneth Kaunda.
So I'm sure even after getting independence, I'm sure there were major challenges that also Zambia had to face even before after getting independence.
Yes.
What are the challenges?
As I said, we had very few people who were educated.
Okay.
We had a bit of a problem with coming up with technocrats who can help in ruling this country, in giving the best administration in the economics, to improve the economy of this country, in education, in health, in agriculture, in defense. Mention just a few. We had challenges because of not having well-educated men and women in this country.
Well, so how did Zambian independence influence other countries in the region still fighting for their own freedom?
When we got independence, it was more like the wind of change that started. Africans had to team up. It was the first country to attain independence in Africa was Ghana. And Kwame Nkrumah was the first president. They were the Pan-Africanists. They started now helping other countries to the southern part of Africa. We started helping Mozambique become independent. Tanzania became independent, although it was a bit ahead of us. Malawi, Botswana, up to the last country, which is South Africa. It is the influence of Kenneth Kaunda and his brothers and sisters of the continent that teamed up together to fight a noble goal, to liberate the Africans from the bondage of the colonizers.
Thank you so much for watching. For now, we'll take a break as we come back to the show. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show as we continue to interact with Mr. Chewe right here on your podcast. What do you think are some of the lessons that young Zambian people would learn from the independence?
It is a very good question, which I was even waiting for. I was hitching for that. To attain independence from the British, it was the high participation of the youths of that time. They were always in the forefront, building bridges and destroying the roads and everything. So today, as old as I am, I'm praying that youths, the generation today, Metikula Empire, I'm urging all the youths to take part in politics, to shape the direction of this great nation. The youth must take leading role in seeing to it that they get involved in politics. They involve themselves in agriculture. They involve themselves in maintaining peace and order. They take a leading role in seeing that peace is maintained. They refrain from drinking heavily, alcohol taking, dagger smoking. They must be the generation with the difference, the generation to contribute to the development of this great nation. And that is my prayer, to see youths with that change of mindset and seeing to it that they become responsible. They avoid by all means to be involved in advices. Vandalism, they must take care of Zambian properties. They must be making sure that they get involved in some spiritual warfare, belonging to churches, because in churches, that's where we learn a lot, how the kingdom of God lives among us as people.
Well, thank you so much. I'm sure the youth out there, you are listening, take part in politics. In your own view, has Zambia lived up to the dreams of the freedom fighters?
Yes. And no wonder we are the way we are. And no wonder those people have not come back again too.
Okay, so how do you think Zambia should celebrate Independence Day today?
The first thing, Zambia must celebrate our independence today in peace, unity, and harmony, and respect for elders and each other. And that's my prayer.
Okay. So do you think younger generation really understand what independence is?
They do. Why do I say so? This time most of the youth that we have are educated. And one that is this, you call this political education. They do understand. They are educated.
Okay, so my next question is, what message would you give to today's youth about preserving our independence and national unity?
they must not get involved in violence. They must all the time not support Kadaism. They must always try by all means to be prayerful. They must belong to churches of Christ or other religions. They must be youths of uprightness. They must be youths with the values. Values which are anchored on good culture and tradition of this great nation. And that is by prayer.
Wow, beautiful. Honor the people that fought for our freedom but are no longer with us today.
And women, unity of purpose is what we need in our great nation. Respect for one another. Respect for property. Sincerity, integrity, honesty must be the basis of our life in our great nation. And on top of that, as a Christian nation, we must imitate Jesus Christ, who was very wise and he had a hallmark of genuine humility.
Okay, so my last question is, what are your hopes for Zambia's future as we continue to build our independence?
To improve the economy of this country through hard work, through respect, through honesty, through sincerity. Then Zambia is going to be built. Away with selfishness. Bring in all the time love and unity. As we always sing, we are proud and free.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Now, before we go, I don't know if you have anything to say before we cut the interview. If there's anything you want to address the people, you can go ahead and talk to them. Especially to the people of Kawamba, in case you have anything to say before we cut the interview, you can go ahead and...
Our youths in Kawamba and the people in general, so that we really believe truly in one Zambia, one nation. Kawamba people, let us not politic under the influence of other men and women who come here, they give us money, they buy us beer, our youth start misbehaving, they become violent, they start vandalizing government properties and private properties. I'm urging all the youth to stand up and see the direction where they are going. I want to Kawamba people, especially the youth, to bear in mind that a proper youth must be one who is accommodating, one who is receptive, one who is always having the face of unity. And they must always make sure that they are identified by Jesus Christ, who was the first youth to bring salvation on earth. Jesus Christ, whose death was so pathetic. Jesus Christ, the country we are calling today Christian nation, it is because we value the cross, which was a cross of shame, now it has become a cross of salvation. And one day we stand free, proud and free, and we call ourselves as Christians. Let us try by all means to live with the ethos of Christianity.
Well, thank you so much. Guys, this is the end of our show. Please make sure to follow, subscribe on YouTube. Also, not forgetting to follow us on Facebook and comment on the video, share the video. See you on the next episode. I was your host, George Singo. Thank you so much for watching.